Offering brand strategy is one of the best ways to upgrade your value offering. For me, it's been an absolute cornerstone of the success of my one-person design business. So in this video, I'm very excited to be sharing with you not only what brand strategy is and why you should be doing it, but actually how. I'm going to share with you the methodology that I've used over the last decade to offer my clients brand strategy. First of all, in order to understand what a brand strategy is, we need to understand what a brand is. A brand is not just a logo. A brand is not just what a business says it is. It's actually more to do with the gut feeling a customer has about the business. Okay, so if I were to say any major brand or even small brand to you, you're going to have a gut feeling about their business. So when I say Ferrari, that's going to evoke certain gut feeling in you. When I say Apple, when I say Coca-Cola, when I say McDonald's, all these big brands have an effect on you. But even small brands, if I were to say the name of your local plumber or the corner shop around the corner from you, these all do have an influence on your gut feeling. Every single business that you come into contact with will elicit a certain gut feeling, and that is fundamentally what a brand is. When I first realized this, it was a mind-blowing moment, and if you want to learn more about it, I highly recommend you read Marty Neumeier's book, The Brand Gap, because this will get into a huge amount of detail and it's so value-packed. So now what you need to understand is that the gut feeling that someone has about a business is extremely influential on their propensity to buy. It's very influential on the person's loyalty to the brand, and it's actually more likely that there will be repeat customers over time. The reason for this is because human beings are fundamentally emotional creatures. We like to make decisions based on how we feel about something, more than how we think about something. And so if you can make someone feel a certain way about a business, this is going to be one of the most effective strategies for business success. It's not something I'm just saying because I'm a brand strategist. There have been studies that have proven that one of the best return on investments for any business is branding. If they invest in branding, it has this knock-on impact to many different aspects of your business. And as I say, it improves the bottom line of all businesses. So now you might be asking, how do we influence the brand? How do we influence this gut feeling that someone has about a business? Well, there are many different levers that we can pull here to basically influence someone's gut feeling. But one of the most elegant and powerful ways we can do this is through design. Graphic design is almost like a silent language that people are just subliminally taking on from every business that exists. So if a business has a certain font, if they're using certain colors, illustrative style, certain animations, all of these different design tools are able to actually communicate to someone the gut feeling that they should be feeling about a business. And so as designers, what we're doing is we're using this wide array of design tools to just communicate and to get this idea across to the customer. And when we're doing brand strategy, we're thinking, okay, what is the fundamental gut feeling we want the customer to have? And what kind of design tools we have at our disposal to actually evoke that feeling in them? Now, is design the only tool we have to influence the gut feeling someone has about a business? And the answer to the question is absolutely not. There are many different aspects. In fact, everything that a business does will somewhat influence someone's gut feeling about it. So these are things like the leadership, the product or service itself, decision-making of the business, the sounds that are associated with the business, like a jingle, the employees and how they behave, and even the pricing of the product. So you need to make sure that all these different elements are kind of cohesive and coming together to create one single feeling. So before we get into the method of how you actually offer brand strategy to your clients, first of all, it obviously adds a ton of value to your clients. So when you offer brand strategy, you're going to basically be offering them something that's going to influence the fundamental building blocks of their business. And as I've already described, it's going to have an effect on their bottom line. The other great thing about brand strategy is that you can actually charge for it and basically get paid for your thinking. So for me, I offer a brand strategy workshop that I do remotely. So this basically enables me to travel and still provide my clients with a ton of value, basically from anywhere in the world that has an internet connection. Something else that people don't really realize about brand strategy is that it gives you a ton of credibility and trust with the client. So if you're on the first call with the client and you tell them that you actually offer brand strategy workshops, this is an amazing way to just show that you are a credible person to work with. Because really there's a perception that if you offer this, if you actually do brand strategy, you must be an expert of some kind. And you must have a certain level of knowledge and expertise about industry in order to do that. And so they're going to be much more likely to want to work with you, knowing that you can offer something like brand strategy. And finally, it helps you build a really deep relationship with the client. So I find that once I've finished working with a client on their brand strategy, I am basically like part of their team at that point, and I know everything about the fundamentals of their business. So this is a really great way to establish a deep relationship that lasts many months or even years. All right, so let's get into how you can start to offer your clients brand strategy. If this video has been helpful so far, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a like, and if you haven't subscribed already, then go ahead and do that. Now let's get into the 8 things I like to cover in my brand strategy sessions. First of all, I cover the what, how, and why of their business. This is how I like to start my brand strategy sessions, and basically what I'm doing here is understanding the fundamentals. So we can cover what it is you do, how do you do it, and most importantly, why? What is the core why of what you're doing? This should be something that's quite familiar to anybody who's seen the Simon Sinek talk, Start With Why. But if you haven't seen that, definitely check that out. But basically that's what we're doing here. We're just getting the fundamentals of their business really, really clear before we get into some of the deeper, more nuanced parts of their business. The second thing we do is cover the 4 brand keywords for the business. So this is where we basically summarize everything about their business and everything about their brand in just 4 keywords. And this is a really amazing way for us to understand, okay, what is the central gut feeling that someone should have about the business? How do we encapsulate that gut feeling in just 4 words? We can then use those 4 words to guide things like the design thinking, but also all the different fundamentals of the brand that we described earlier. Third, we get into the market positioning. So this is where we ask the question, what is the space that you occupy in the mind of the customer? Where do you position yourself, and how do you differentiate from the competition? This is so important because basically by differentiating from the competition, you are eliminating competition. So what we do here is we actually visualize the differences between the client's business and all the competitors' businesses. Number 4, we define the target audience. And fundamentally what we do here is we just put together some personas of who our ideal audience would be. By developing personas, we're basically going to put a name and face to the person that we're going to be speaking to. And again, if we can understand the person we're speaking to, we can start to understand what things would resonate with them most and what kind of messaging and approach would be best to elicit a certain gut feeling in them. Number 5, we cover a competitor analysis. This is where we look at what is their brand strategy, how are they coming across, and what kind of brand feeling do we get from them. And we start to contrast, compare what they've done, and then make decisions about how else we can differentiate from them. Number 6 is the messaging strategy. So once we've understood who our personas are and who our target audience is, now let's put together a messaging strategy that really defines how we can communicate the big benefit of the business. And basically what we'll have here is a messaging framework that will allow us to communicate very clearly with our customer. The 7th thing we cover is website strategy. So understanding what is the fundamental goal of the website and how can we use design to achieve that goal. And if we finish off the brand strategy session by talking about business goals. What are the ways we would measure success in a year or 5 years' time? So those are the 8 things I like to cover in my brand strategy workshop sessions. Now this is how you can start to offer it for your clients, for yourself. The first thing you need to do is just simply start to tell your clients that you do brand strategy. So at the start of every engagement, say, look, I like to start my engagements with a brand strategy workshop. The second step is to send them a brand discovery survey. This is basically a questionnaire that will ask them a whole series of questions about their business, and then you can use their answers to prepare and run a workshop with them. Step 3 is to go through all their answers, start to understand what kind of questions you would like to ask them, and start to look for any inconsistencies or anything that requires further detail. And finally, once you've got all your questions together, you'll run through a workshop with them where you cover each of the 8 topics. Now, if you've made it to this point in the video, I would wager that you're quite interested in running brand strategy workshops for yourself. So if that's of interest, you should check out my masterclass course, which I've left a link to in the description. Now, if it's your dream to run a one-person design business, there are a couple free tools I'm excited to share with you. First is my brand discovery survey. This is what I send to my clients at the beginning of any engagement. This is an amazing way to kick off projects as it extracts all relevant information about your client. You can get your copy of the exact one I use for free using the link in the description. The second is the Freedom Roadmap. This is a step-by-step guide I absolutely loved putting together. It's basically an actionable guide that will help you run a one-person design business no matter what stage you're at. So if you want to find out where you are on the journey to freedom, there's also a link in the description to download that for free. Finally, if you're interested in getting coaching from myself, I do have a 3-month program that fast-tracks you to becoming a top 1% designer. During these 3 months, I will personally help you find and close high-paying clients, improve your design skills, create a killer portfolio, and fundamentally help you set up a one-person design business that enables you to design your ideal life. If you'd like to apply for the coaching program, just complete the form linked in my description. And please note that I only take on people that I'm sure I can help. If you're a great fit, then I look forward to speaking with you very soon. And if you haven't already, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe for more videos like this. Cheers and have a superb day.